A live look from the nation's capital, where Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is lying in state. She made history during her life and now in death.
Ginsburg becomes the first woman and the first Jewish person to lie in state at the Capitol. NBC's Tracy Potts is the latest from the Capitol, where lawmakers are just wrapping up a ceremony in Ginsburg's honor.
Just a few steps from where she made history, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is breaking barriers again, today becoming the first woman to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol. The motorcade carrying her remains arrived for a formal ceremony led by the first female Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
It is with profound sorrow and deep sympathy to the Ginsburg family that I have the high honor to welcome Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg to lie in state.
Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden and his wife Jill sitting with the Ginsburg family. A small mix of Democrats and Republicans on the other side, hundreds more visiting throughout the day in socially distanced groups.
All the days of her life, she pursued justice, even in illness.
President Trump paid his respects at the Supreme Court Thursday. As sounds of political discord pierced the solemn moment. The president announced his plans to replace Ginsburg at a Florida rally last night.
On Saturday, I will be announcing my nominee to the United States Supreme Court.
He says he's nominating another woman tomorrow as the High Court's longest-serving female justice is laid to rest. Tracy Potts, NBC News at the U.S. Capitol.
And Justice Ginsburg will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery in a private ceremony next week. Breaking right now, students are protesting in Jefferson Hills.
They are demanding a board member in the Thomas Jefferson School District step down because of alleged racist remarks. Channel 11's Serafina James joins us live with the breaking details. Serafina?
Yes, we're live outside of Thomas Jefferson High School, and I want you to take a look. There is a huge police presence here. There's even barricades up, and then you'll also see a large group of protesters here. Today, they are demanding the removal of a school board member. This comes after she allegedly made racist rants on Facebook. Now, the group began this morning by walking to the school with signs, many of them chanting that Black lives and Black students matter. The West Jefferson Hills School District tells Channel 11, despite this group's demand for the removal of a school board member, they have no legal authority to do so. They also issued us a statement saying in part, quote, every member of the West Jefferson Hills School District Board of Directors has supported ongoing efforts during the last 4+ years to ensure equity, diversity, and inclusion for all of its students, in particular minority students in the district. However, those that are protesting outside the school today tell me they would disagree, many of them testifying and sharing their own personal experiences this morning, saying that the district has a long history of racism and harassment. Today, I'm working to get both sides of the story. I'll have that for you coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. For now, we're live in Jefferson Hills. Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
It was a violent night in our area. 2 deadly shootings in 2 different counties. A teenager was killed in Mount Oliver, right near the Pittsburgh border. Allegheny County Police told us a 19-year-old was shot inside this apartment building on Arlington Avenue just after 3 this morning. He didn't even make it to the hospital. He died at the scene. 2 hours earlier, there was a double shooting in Beaver Falls. Police were called to a home at the corner of 5th Avenue and 14th Street. They found a 22-year-old man dead there, and a 23-year-old woman had to be flown to a hospital. And this is the same corner where police investigated a triple shooting back in early August.
Say her name! Breonna Taylor! Say her name! Breonna Taylor! Say her name! Breonna Taylor!
Standing next to Breonna Taylor's mother, the family's attorney called for prosecutors in Kentucky to release the grand jury transcripts so they can understand why 3 Louisville police officers were not charged in her shooting death. Taylor's mother said it was still too soon for her to speak after Wednesday's decision. Meanwhile, it was another night of clashes and protests across the country. In Louisville, at least 24 people were arrested during protests, and the city is bracing for yet another night of people filling the streets. Blaine Alexander has the latest from Louisville.
New video appears to show the chaotic moments after Sergeant John Mattingly was shot serving a warrant at Breonna Taylor's home.
Cover him. Let's go.
This video was released overnight by Mattingly's attorney. Police have said there is no police body camera video showing the moments that Taylor was killed. It comes after a second straight night of protests in Louisville.
Get an EMS. Get up. Get EMS. I'm waiting.
At least 24 arrested during a second straight night of protests in the name of Breonna Taylor. Louisville's mayor calling for calm, acknowledging his city is hurting.
What do we do with this pain? There is no one answer, no easy answer to that question, but I do know this. Violence is not the answer, and destruction is not the answer.
2 police officers were shot during Wednesday's unrest. Police have arrested a suspect in that shooting. Thursday, one of the officers returning to roll call, the other still recovering. Across the country, there were many peaceful demonstrations, but some took a violent turn. In L.A., a driver seen hitting a protester who was later taken to the hospital with minor injuries. In Seattle, an officer is on administrative leave after this video shows him rolling his bicycle over a person lying in the street. Breonna Taylor was shot and killed when police entered her home last March. A grand jury indicted former officer Brett Hankison not for Taylor's death, but for firing shots that went into a neighboring apartment. For the other 2 officers involved, no charges. Taylor was inside with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who says he opened fire with a registered gun because he thought the police were intruders. Officers fired back, killing Taylor. A central question, whether the officers announced themselves before bursting inside. Walker says no, and his attorney says multiple neighbors agree. But the officers and a neighbor say police did identify themselves, according to the state attorney general. All of it intensifying calls for grand jury evidence to be made public.
It's time to post all the information, all the facts, all the interviews, all the evidence, all the ballistics, to truly let people look at the information.
Hannah Drake has been protesting for months. By her side, her daughter, Breonna.
You can't be in your own home and protect yourself. Like, how do I look her in her face and tell her that?
In Louisville, Kentucky, I'm Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
Also breaking, the man charged with shooting 2 police officers in Louisville Wednesday night just pleaded not guilty.
Pittsburgh could pay $40,000 to a Trafford woman who claims that police assaulted her in her own home 5 years ago. Deborah Trishiak sued the city and 5 officers in December. She claims police showed up at her home claiming a friend of her son's had taken her son's car and crashed it. At one point, she claims an officer pushed her to the floor, breaking her elbow. The lawsuit says police did admit in court to entering the home without a warrant. City Council still has to approve the settlement.
Breaking now, the Allegheny County Health Department just out with a coronavirus case update. 68 new cases have been reported since yesterday. Those positive results date back 9 days. The health department also learned of 4 additional deaths. 2 of the patients got the virus at long-term care facilities. The Allegheny County Health Department has lifted its order on coronavirus restrictions. Most state limitations are still in effect, though. Here's what that all means for you. Outdoor gatherings in the county can increase from 100 people to 250. Although, remember, a judge ruled the crowd limits unconstitutional, so they are not being enforced. But the state is encouraging groups and businesses to follow the order. Also, there is no longer a drink limit at county bars, and smoking is allowed at casinos and designated outdoor areas. We spoke to business owners who've been struggling with restrictions. One said he had to throw away food and alcohol twice because of the shutdown.
I didn't see there would be much benefit to them continuing on with what they were asking us to do as restaurants versus what the state's requirements were. So it does help us.
Orders like wearing masks, social distancing, and working virtually, if possible, all remain in effect in the county.
The first round of mail-in ballots are going out to voters in Allegheny County. A shipment of 70,000 is being set out, and officials say that that is just the beginning. More than 314,000 applications have been approved so far. And once you get your ballot, you follow the instructions, and I mean follow them to a T, then send it out in the mail, or you can drop it off at one of the drop boxes that are being set up across the county. And we do have a list of locations on our website, WPXI.com. And if you change your mind and you end up wanting to vote in person, hold on to that ballot.
What's new this election is if you've applied for mail-in ballot, but you have not cast it, and you come to November 3rd and you just want to vote in person instead, take the whole thing, so the ballot, the inner envelope, the outer envelope, whole thing, to your polling place, and you're going to void it. So you're basically going to sign a declaration saying, I hereby hand in, I haven't voted, I want to vote in person. You'll sign a declaration, and then you'll be allowed to vote on the polling machine.
The polls will close 8 p.m. on Election Day, November 3rd. Your mail-in ballot must be postmarked by that time and must be received by your county elections office Friday, November 6th. So your best bet really is to just fill it out and mail it as soon as you get it.
The Senate has passed a resolution reaffirming its support for a peaceful transition of power. The resolution, offered by West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, comes after President Donald Trump refused to commit to such a transition if he were to lose the election. No senator objected to the resolution. It also throws the Senate's support behind the idea that, quote, there should be no disruptions by the president or any person in power to overturn the will of the people of the United States. One man is a moderate Democrat who was part of the blue wave in the 2018 midterm elections. The other, a Republican and a big supporter of President Trump, and he's trying to take that seat. We're talking about the race for the 17th Congressional District. Congressman Connor Lamb will debate challenger Sean Parnell, and you will see that debate right here on Channel 11 and on the WPXI News app. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
The National Guard has been called to another local nursing home that's fighting a coronavirus outbreak. What we're learning about the plan to keep the virus from spreading.
We just started dumping buckets of water on it and called 911.
Police are looking for the person who set her house on fire. The other crime police are pinning on this stranger.
We're warming up and we're dry, and that's pretty much the story as we head into the weekend. Up next in about 5 minutes, I'll let you know about our next best shot for showers.
WPXI Now. When a major story breaks, this is where you'll find 24-hour coverage. From the Channel 11 newsroom to our crews live in the field, we'll bring you the information you need right now. WPXI Now. Always on when you want the latest on breaking news. Channel 11 News investigates and digs deeper.
The federal judge denying the Commonwealth's request for a stay.
You cannot pick and choose who can gather. What does this ruling mean for you and your family?
Count on Channel 11 News.
When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
I got to the top of the landing. There was fire coming in under the front door.
Yeah, really scary, and police say it was no accident. Take a look at this surveillance video. You can actually see someone lighting that woman's front porch on fire. Channel 11 Serafina James spoke with neighbors who helped put that fire out, and she also learned this isn't the only crime to hit Millvale that night.
Police say the suspect started his crime spree here at Frank's Pizza and Chicken, where he spray painted their security camera. He then came this way, traveling down North Avenue, where he set fire to a home.
And all I heard was a bang and then a loud boom.
This Millvale homeowner, who did not want to be identified, is still visibly shaken after she woke up early Thursday morning to find the front of her home engulfed in flames.
There was fire coming in under the front door. So I grabbed the fire extinguisher and yelled for everybody to get out of the house.
We obtained this surveillance video that first shows the suspect vandalize North Avenue business, Frank's Pizza and Chicken. Minutes later, another camera catches who police believe to be the same suspect down the street at a row home, pouring an accelerant, lighting it, and running off.
We had plants growing along there, and they were all saturated with gas, so we just started dumping buckets of water on it and called 911.
And the terror didn't end there. The homeowner says her house was also tagged with spray paint, and her front window was shattered with a brick.
I heard glass shattering and somebody running, so I thought somebody got broken into. My husband gets up to look, and all we see is orange flames.
Melanie Turkay lives next door and heard the commotion.
Somebody intentionally did it. We don't know who. It could be somebody she had beef with. Don't know, but this is not normal.
Millvale Police Chief Tim Komorowski says this is now an arson case, and whoever is responsible could face felony charges.
We had people's lives at risk. We take that very seriously. We are going to make sure we make an arrest in this. And if we have to make multiple arrests, we will make multiple arrests. It's just not going to rest. We're not going to allow this to happen.
The cops are coming for you. That's it. They'll get you.
Police are offering a reward for any information about this case. Reporting in Millvale, Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
Hey, we'll tell you they were just doing their job, but for three families, what a group of Swissvale firefighters and officers did was so much more. They were recognized yesterday for saving 3 lives in a matter of weeks. All 3 involved CPR. On August 10th, a man collapsed inside a store, and these first responders got to work and saved him.
I don't remember falling. I don't remember anything. I woke up 5 days later in the in the ICU with a defibrillator in my chest. But without these guys, I wouldn't be here.
We're told Swissvale is one of the few fire departments in southwestern PA that has advanced life support equipped vehicles.
Target is gearing up for the holiday season, announcing new plans for workers as it expects to see an increase in contact-free shopping during the holidays. It's going to double the number of team members devoted to drive up and order pickup. Compared to last year, distribution centers will hire more seasonal workers, and there will be additional workers at the front of stores to focus on safety, cleaning, and greeting guests. Target plans to hire around 130,000 new workers. No mask, no ride. That's the new rule from Uber. If a driver reports that a rider wasn't wearing a mask, that rider, next time they need a ride, needs to take a selfie proving they have a mask on before they can take another trip with Uber.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Happy Friday. We wrap up your work week. Still on a pretty dry note. We've had a pretty good stretch of dry weather so far this week, and that continues into the weekend. I do have an update on the forecast about rain. We've been talking the past few days about rain chances for Sunday and looking to stay on the drier side, which could be good news if you have any plans. What you're seeing toward the south around the Carolinas here and also into Virginia, that is the remnants of beta. And notice how we're staying dry. That is how it is expected to stay as we go throughout the rest of the day. And we do need some rain. We have been lacking as far as rain totals are concerned. Now, most of the area abnormally dry, not most of the area, but we do have a good portion of the area abnormally dry. And you see that in that yellow shaded area. That's from Armstrong County throughout portions of central Allegheny County into northern Washington County, even near Morgantown. So not quite in the drought. So 1 out of 5, but still showing that we could use some extra rain. And yesterday I did show an isolated rain chance for Sunday and for Monday, and now the models are showing mostly dry conditions. So there's an update for you to show at least for the next 4 days. We're looking to stay on the dry side. And that front that we were looking at giving us rain, maybe a few isolated showers, looking to move through on Tuesday. That will be our next best shot for showers, showing you that right now. So could see a few spots of rain first thing in the morning, maybe headed out to work, to school, whatever you may be doing around 7 o'clock, right after sunrise. Looking to be, maybe want to go ahead and grab your umbrella, because especially as we go into the afternoon, starting to see some rain pick up, and we could even hear a few rumbles of thunder. No severe weather expected right now. Now, if that changes, we'll continue to keep you updated on that. But it does look like we get a good bit of wet weather coming our way. And again, this forecast, we are still moderating things. So again, continue to check back in with us for the latest on this forecast. Just like the forecast changed for Sunday and Monday, where we thought we could see a few isolated showers, we'll continue to keep you updated on any other changes that may come our way. But it's looking to, we're still ironing out the details, and we are looking to see a dry weekend ahead and a dry start to the work week on Monday. Now, we did see a cooler temperatures on Monday. Now it looks like, because we're staying on the drier side and that front not moving through until Tuesday, we're going to stay pretty warm in the 80s, but dropping into the lower 70s for Tuesday.
Something has been missing from Steelers games. The team said no fans for the first 2 games at Heinz Field, but what the team is saying about allowing some fans in the stands.
And this local building could get a major makeover, the hidden history housed within these walls.
Breaking News Desk is really an invaluable tool.
You're going to get breaking news as it's happening. You can be assured that everything I tell you is something that's important, that's going to impact your day.
We have an anchor now dedicated to following the latest information as it comes in.
I know the neighborhoods, I know the school districts, and that really helps to inform you so that you know if something is going to impact your family.
As soon as she gets that information, the Breaking News Desk is able to go on air, bring that information to you and share it.
That is a resource no one else has. If you see me on the Breaking News Desk, you know it's an important story.
Nobody can read between the lines like Judge Judy.
This building may not look like much, but it is considered one of the most endangered historic places. The National Negro Opera Company House in Homewood was built in 1894. It was home to the country's first black opera company. We've learned that the National Trust for Historic Preservation is trying to save it from demolition. The Hampton School District is letting more fans in the stands at sporting events, and that's just in time for tonight's homecoming football game. Each student will participate, who participates will get 2 tickets for their family members. And the new plan includes both indoor and outdoor athletic events, but no visiting fans are allowed in.
Fans in the stands at Heinz Field, it's the issue that is taking center stage with statements from Pitt coach Pat Narduzzi and the Steelers. We already knew fans wouldn't be allowed to attend games at Heinz Field for either Pitt or the Steelers this month, but with October getting closer, there will be meetings and decisions made soon. The Steelers say, as we previously announced, we will not have any fans at our home games in September. However, we remain optimistic about hosting a limited amount of fans at Heinz Field, beginning with our game against the Philadelphia Eagles on October 11th. Narduzzi hopes some people will get in to Heinz Field as well.
I think there's a safe way to at least have our, our parents at a game. If we can get our our kids' parents. My wife and kids can stay home. Our coach, it's not about them. It's about our kids and their parents being able to watch them play, something they've done since they were Pee Wee football.
The Steelers host the Eagles October 11th and the Browns October 18th. Pitt hosts NC State on October 3rd and Notre Dame on October 24th.
It hit me enough, and it was upsetting enough that I reached out to you.
The Pittsburgh neighborhood where someone is stealing campaign signs.
And the National Guard called to another local nursing home fighting a coronavirus outbreak. What we're learning about the plan to keep the virus from spreading.
You're streaming WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. Get the inside scoop on all the hot events, entertainment, and celebrities in and around Pittsburgh every week. Stream Access Pittsburgh on demand anytime on WPXI Now.
On Channel 11 Morning News, we tell you what's new, what's happening now, and what's next.
News stories with new details.
Breaking stories, updated all morning. And developing stories to prepare you for what's next on Channel 11 Morning News.
Watch Channel 11 News at 6.
Followed by NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
The National Guard has been called to a Westmoreland County nursing home where COVID cases are spiking. As of the last update, 47 residents and 12 employees at Westmoreland Manor have tested positive for the virus. Strangely, only 3 residents are showing any symptoms. Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie found out what is being done to keep the virus from spreading even more.
It hasn't even been a week yet since county leaders learned about the first positive resident case at Westmoreland Manor, but said today they're bringing in the National Guard to help control and contain this outbreak. In just a matter of days, Westmoreland Manor went from no cases of COVID-19 to now 47 residents and 12 employees. The sudden outbreak prompted county leaders to call in the National Guard.
And they'll be coming in to assist with 24-hour testing at this time. They'll do further determinations what else needs to be done as we move forward.
County commissioners told Channel 11 National Guard members will be helping with testing around the clock to help free up staff as those 12 employees remain quarantined at home while still supporting the staff still working.
One of their main duties for the Pennsylvania National Guard will be to assist in the testing of all the residents. That way, right now, management is doing the testing. That'll free up management to be able to take on additional duties.
We're congregating all of the residents into one unit as much as possible. With so many that are asymptomatic, we're repeating testing often.
Just continually testing, making sure we have enough of the protective equipment because we're burning through that at a rapid rate right now, making sure we have enough on hand.
The county-run facility went without a single resident contracting COVID-19 for the entire pandemic until now. Commissioners say their first priority is protecting residents and staff, and by taking such proactive measures, they're hoping to contain it and keep it from spreading.
We will welcome the National Guard for as long as they feel it's needed for them to be in the building. We will take as much assistance from the state and federal government as we can.
That's why we're taking these drastic steps right now to make sure that we're protecting the residents as much as possible and the staff at this time because everyone's exposed, everyone's at risk, and we're taking this seriously.
There's no timeline as to how long the National Guard will actually be inside the facility for, but county leaders say they're taking directives from Excella Health and that regional agency. Reporting in Westmoreland County, I'm Melanie Gillespie for Channel 11 News.
And this isn't the first time that the National Guard has been called to a local nursing home because of the coronavirus. The Guard spent a week at Brighton Rehab in Beaver County back in May. The latest state data shows 333 residents got sick there with COVID and 73 of them died.
This irresponsible behavior simply has to stop. This is not the time for grandstanding. This is the time for doing things that are actually going to help people and save lives.
Governor Tom Wolf had some tough talk for state lawmakers. The governor says Republicans continue to push back on his efforts to slow the spread of the virus. Republican lawmakers have filed lawsuits to ease restrictions, something Wolf said could have deadly consequences. Earlier this week, Wolf vetoed the legislation that would have let schools determine crowd sizes at sporting events. And yesterday, State Representative Mike Reese, who sponsored that bill, fired back, arguing it can be done safely.
Here's the thing. You don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to say, well, it's okay to do this with a whole bunch of people, but it's not okay to do this with a whole bunch of people. That's the mistake the governor's making.
Reese said it's time to return to some kind of normalcy. Governor Wolf says he's worried about a resurgence and will not ignore the virus.
Riot police clashed with protesters in Madrid last night after new coronavirus restrictions were announced. The extended region around Madrid is struggling to control outbreaks, and people are being asked to justify any trips out of 37 neighborhoods. Thousands have been confined to their neighborhoods unless they have vital business. Bar owners and customers in France are denouncing new measures to close the city of Marseille's bars and restaurants to contain an uptick in cases. The health minister ordered a 2-week shutdown after placing the city on the maximum alert level for the spread of the virus. Local politicians said the step was out of proportion to the risks and would devastate their economy. Meantime, our neighbors to the north, Canada, say that the second wave of coronavirus is already there. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau delivered this sobering message.
It's all too likely we won't be gathering for Thanksgiving, but we still have a shot at Christmas.
He's talking about Canadian Thanksgiving, which is next week. Canada has recorded 148,000 coronavirus cases and 9,200 deaths, but compare that to the U.S. with nearly 7 million cases and 202,000 deaths.
Freedom to be able to choose who we want to elect.
A woman is upset after she says Biden campaign signs were stolen from her front yard. She lives in Point Breeze and said she woke up Sunday to find her Biden sign gone. After talking with neighbors, she found out theirs were missing as well. She said she took it personally because everyone's voice needs to be heard.
It was a violation of our rights, and that, especially in this climate, especially in this day and age, especially now.
And that's not the only local neighborhood where signs have been stolen. It's happened in Shaler Township. Those signs were thrown in the woods. Police there are putting out a warning. Whoever did it will be prosecuted. And police in Upper St. Clair have similar reports.
A federal judge says the 2020 census must continue for another month, ordering the Trump administration to abandon last-minute changes. Our Jacqueline Fell explains why the judge ruled to give census counters more time.
A federal judge has stopped the 2020 census from wrapping up in 5 days, instead ordering the nation's head count to continue for an additional month through the end of October. Typically, the once-in-a-decade count wraps up in the summer, but it was extended because of the pandemic. Then last month, the Trump administration announced a shortened timeline, saying the census needs time to meet a year-end deadline to turn over the final results to the president. Critics argued an early end would undercount residents and minority and hard-to-count communities. The judge agreed and in her ruling said an inaccurate count would affect political representation and the distribution of federal funding. The census, which is mandated by the Constitution, helps distribute money to states for things like critical public services.
And the pandemic has certainly highlighted for everybody the importance of emergency services, of health care, of our school funding, all of those things that we rely upon.
The Trump administration is likely to appeal, further throwing the 2020 census into chaos in what could be the final days of the count. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
Workers in trouble. What was found inside an old abandoned storage room under Grand Central Station that has them in hot water?
Hi, I'm Lisa Robertson, and we've been bringing you a special version of Local Steals and Deals, where we shine a spotlight on amazing companies and their passionate founders. Small businesses really are the backbone of America, and we need them to thrive now more than ever. With Local Steals and Deals, we bring you exclusive offers from these brands on products that make your life safer, brighter, and more fun at a time when we all really need it. Join us in making a difference. Simply pick up your phone and text USA to 65,000 to learn more.
I like people to be honest, not stupid.
Nobody brings the truth to life.
Is that what you want me to believe?
Nobody can read between the lies.
I'm 5'9", and I have a body like Christy Brinkley. Do you believe that?
Like Judge Judy.
She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck. Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck. I still love this job.
Judge Judy, weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on Channel 11.
Watch The Kelly Clarkson Show weekdays at 1 p.m. right here on Channel 11.
Something unexpected was discovered in an old storage room under Grand Central Station this week.
And as John Chandler tells us, it has a few workers in hot water.
Below the bustle of Grand Central Terminal, down the stairs at Track 114, underneath the trains and travelers, was a locksmith storage room, which looked more like a man cave. A flat-screen TV, fridge with cold beer, even a futon.
Honestly, it's kind of innovative. Why not?
I'm not very happy, of course, but does it affect me directly? I guess it doesn't.
Riders we spoke with were less enraged and more amused, but not Metro North President Kathy Rinaldi.
Not amused, yes, enraged.
According to the MTA investigators report, a select few workers used it as a man cave to hang out and get drunk and party.
There's no defense for behavior like this. It is completely unacceptable behavior. It does not represent what Metro North is all about.
MTA crews have swept the Grand Central Terminal looking for other hidden rooms like this one. They found nothing. At least one rider wonders if this is all just a little too much.
There is so much more to be upset about, to be focused on. If they want to use less than 1% of the taxpayers' dollars so that they can have somewhere nice to sort of relax while they're doing a heck of a lot of work, that's fine. I can live with that.
Well, the Office of Inspector General launched the investigation after learning of complaints about the room from anonymous tips to their complaint hotline. 3 workers who created the man cave are currently off the job.
Well, they can sniff out drugs, bombs, cancer, diabetes, and now COVID-19. The airport using special dogs to sniff out the virus.
Going into the weekend is going to feel like summer, but the end of next week, fall returns. I'm talking about a change in temperatures coming up in about 5 minutes.
Weeknights on MeTV. Watch The Flintstones at 6, Happy Days at 6:30, and MASH at 7.
You can find MeTV on Comcast 190, 207, or 1169, and on these and other providers.
What's up, Pittsburgh? It's me, Kelly Clarkson. Join me every weekday at 1 p.m. right here on Channel 11 for The Kelly Clarkson Show. Season 2 is full of your favorite stars in film, TV, and music, and everyday heroes in your community. See you at 1, y'all.
What's new?
What's now and what's next every morning
on Channel 11 Morning News.
There's a new member of Crisis Center North in Allegheny County. This is Rune. She is 2 months old, a chocolate lab retriever, and she's going to be part of the Pause for Empowerment advocacy team. Rune is finishing up training. She's going to be in courtrooms supporting victims of domestic violence. And now Finland has a coronavirus sniffing dogs at the airport. The airport is testing a program where specially trained dogs are able to sniff out the virus on passengers. Reporter Ralph Sanchez explains how it works.
These dogs are out in force at Finland's Helsinki airport sniffing for COVID on incoming passengers. Here's how it works. When you land in Helsinki, you rub a swab on your neck. That swab is given to the dogs to smell, and if they detect the virus, they've been trained to paw at the ground to signal to their handlers that they've found something. Passengers who the dogs think have tested positive are then sent to do a traditional PCR test. They're given the swab up the nose or the back of the throat. This program is only in its pilot stage at the moment. There are 10 dogs. They're working in teams of 4. But researchers at the University of Helsinki say the initial results are really encouraging. Once trained, these dogs have a near 100% success rate in detecting the virus. What's interesting is we don't know what it is exactly they're detecting. So does the virus itself have a smell? Does human sweat smell different when somebody has the virus? We don't know. But the potential here is huge. These dogs can be trained quickly, and the test with the dogs takes just 1 minute. So compare that to the PCR tests. The fastest ones we have right now take several hours to give results. If these tests at the airport are successful, you might see dogs being rolled out at other high-traffic venues across Finland, shopping malls, movie theaters, potentially even schools. Ralph Sanchez, NBC News, London.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
We wrap up your work week on another dry note as we look outside right now. Sun, some clouds, mostly sun, 71 degrees. We keep the mostly sunny skies into the afternoon. Maybe some haze out there from the west coast fires, that smoke coming in from the jet stream. We kind of see some of that haziness like we have the past few days, even into last week. Temperatures near 80 today, so on the warm side. Again, and we are technically now in this season of fall. We will be warm as we go into the weekend, but cooler weather is on the way. More on that in just a second. Tonight, dropping down into the upper 50s, kind of on the warmer side. Not a bad morning. We should be somewhere near 50 degrees, but 57 will take a few clouds in the sky. Hey, maybe you want to go to a fall festival, get some pumpkins. Pretty cool idea, especially since we're again now in the fall. Just going to be on the warmer side, not really feeling like fall tomorrow, but overall a really nice day, a dry day. We do need the rain, but for your outdoor activities, both days of the weekend, you're pretty much good to go. Tomorrow, probably the better day is going to be on the warmer side going into your Sunday. I mean, check out these highs. Feeling like summer going into the weekend. Part 2 of the weekend on your Sunday, peaking around 83 possible for Pittsburgh, 81. You could be feeling that during the afternoon. In Washington and Uniontown, you could be getting to around 82 degrees. So again, on the warmer side, the good news is we do have a cold front on the way. Going into your Tuesday, a cold front will move through, sparking some showers, and then some cooler air filters into the area. So we go from above average today into the weekend to below average for really most of the upcoming work week. Now, we do stay on the warmer side for Monday. We do also stay dry from today through Monday. And then we could see around 1 inch to even 2 inches of rain throughout next week. So some much needed rain is on the way and a cool down is on the way. And you can see that here in the 5-day forecast. In the 80s today through Monday, staying dry. Then that cold front on Tuesday I mentioned brings some changes, showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms. We lose about 10 degrees there. Look at that. From Monday, a high of 81 down to 71. We could even be cooler toward the middle of the week.
Cash used to be king until coronavirus showed up. Now a lot of people still aren't using cash. Our consumer advisor shows us where you could run into trouble.
A lot of people right now are afraid to use cash because they're worried about getting coronavirus from someone. So they're using debit cards in numbers they never have before. And using a debit card for everyday routine kind of purchases is okay to a point, The problem, though, with the debit card is if the number gets compromised, a criminal is able to swipe all the money out of your checking account, and then you have to wait till your bank decides you weren't the crook and give you your money back. If you're deciding that a debit card is really important for your safety right now, then what I want you to do is set up a separate account tied into using that debit card, maybe with an online bank where they charge no fees at all. And then the only money you have at risk is the money you would use for walking around purchases, but the money for your rent or mortgage or car payment or whatever is not at risk because it's not tied into that debit card. I'm Clark Howard.
And now here's local steals and deals.
Hey, I have one of the best ideas ever for you today, and it is the Kathy Ireland Gem Spa. This is something that's actually going to clean your jewelry using the same principles that professionals use. So this is something that's actually made so that you don't do the work your dishwasher does. It's this great little device. You open it up. There's a place for your jewelry. You can use bracelets, necklaces, earrings, rings, whatever you want to do. You put it in here. You close it. You lock it. And then you take the antibacterial gel. You put it in the groove channel. And you just put it in your dishwasher. Voila! Now, whenever your dishwasher runs, your jewelry is actually going to be clean using a lot of the same principles that professional jewelry cleaners use. It's hot water, it's steam, it's heat, but you didn't have to do any of it. I love the fact that it works with 90% of the jewelry that we all wear, and there's a great little list that comes with it to make sure that you're putting the right things in there. Now, here's another thing. How many times a day do you wash your hands? 1 million. Did you know that a virus can live in a piece of jewelry for up to 5 days? Oh. This is also going to be something that helps clean your jewelry with an antibacterial gel. So it's not just going to look pretty and sparkly, it's actually going to be really clean. I love this idea because every girl loves a beautiful piece of jewelry. It's the perfect gift for any girl who loves jewelry. It's the perfect thing to have for your jewelry. And right now on localsteals.com, it's 25% off. I guarantee your jewelry's never looked better.
Channel 11 Morning News brings you what's happening now.
Channel 11 spoke with a man who lives there. Today, bars and restaurants will be able to serve more customers inside.
What's new?
The CDC just put out new considerations for Halloween on what is low and high risk.
And what's next?
Your vote will play a very critical role in the presidential election.
President Donald Trump is coming to this area. We're going to stay on top of this story throughout the course of this day.
Count on Channel 11 News for live coverage every morning. Watch Catherine Amenta and Gordon Lesh on Channel 11 Morning News.
The Postal Service unveiled this year's crop of holiday stamps. They come in 4 different designs. The post office says each design will add, quote, a touch of whimsy to your holiday mailings. The Forever stamp costs 55 cents per stamp and $11 for a book of 20. Thanksgiving isn't that far away, and apparently the turkeys know it. Just like a child playing hide and go seek, this wild turkey seemed to think it would just never be found in the bathroom. That turkey somehow made its way into a home in Virginia last week, walked right past the kitchen and through the house, and was hanging out in the bathroom when it was spotted by the family. Animal control captured the turkey and released it in the front yard, where it ran off.
Well, the family would have known about that turkey if they had a new device from Amazon. Ring, which is the security business owned by Amazon, just released details about this home drone. The drone can fly inside your house while streaming video to your smartphone. You see, that guy doesn't like it. The drone is activated when motion is detected or if your Ring alarm system is triggered. The device costs $250 and it will be available sometime next year. Another gadget for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all for Channel 11 News. At noon, our next newscast comes up tonight at 5 o'clock.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Channel 11 News investigates and digs deeper.
Restaurants can double capacity from